Another Wichita restaurant is linked to a measles outbreak in Sedgwick County. We're live from East Wichita with how the restaurants are related.
Rain on the way out as warmer temperatures are expected to return. We'll check your forecast coming up.
Plus, nearly 300 people are dead after a Boeing 777 is reportedly shot out of the sky. Now both sides are pointing fingers.
Expect more on KSCW. This is Eyewitness News at 9 in high definition. Online at kwch.com. Follow KWCH on Facebook and Twitter.
We now have confirmation of a 9th case of the measles in Sedgwick County, bringing the total in Kansas to 12.
The latest case was confirmed at an East Wichita restaurant. Jade Good spoke with the owner. She's live there now. Jade.
Yeah, the latest case was identified as an employee here at Sumo. That's the restaurant that's here behind me in East Wichita. It's a Japanese restaurant. I spoke with the owner earlier today, and she said that she was actually alerted about these measles cases through the Sal's Japanese Steakhouse that we were talking about last week. Well, she said she made sure that everyone had their vaccinations. One of the employees went in to get his, found out he already had it.
Sumo Japanese Grill is the latest exposure point in the outbreak of measles in Sedgwick County. The owner says an employee who works there went in to get a vaccination, but the doctor found out that he was already carrying the virus. Health officials say the employee was working during the infectious period, which can occur before any symptoms begin.
Current outbreak that we are seeing is, of course, an unvaccinated person. So some of those are people who have not been vaccinated because it came from other countries, and some are too young to be vaccinated.
Because the measles virus is so contagious, those who are not vaccinated or have not previously had the disease could easily catch it. That means any person who ate at Sumo on East 13th Street on July 11th and 12th and later develop a fever and rash need to contact their doctor or the Sedgwick County Health Department.
The owner says that all of her employees need to be able to prove that they have been vaccinated from this virus by tomorrow. Now, she also mentioned that there's a good chance that her employee had been in contact with one from Sal's and possibly got exposed that way.
Thank you, Jade. Sal's has become a focal point in the Wichita measles outbreak. Now, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment says anyone who attended a July 4th softball tournament at South Lake Sports Complex may have been exposed to the virus. 8 teams from 4 states participated in the tournament. Now, Eyewitness News is told the same people who own Sal's organized that event.
We're sitting right next to one person by one person by one person, and a cough or a sneeze that can travel several feet, standing in the concession stand, going back and forth easily, several people can be exposed.
Officials say at least one person attending the tournament was infected with the measles. Sedgwick County health officials say all local cases are in some way connected to an employee at Sal's Japanese Steakhouse. That employee was exposed in the Kansas City area. While officials in Ukraine are blaming Russia for a deadly plane crash this morning, Russia is pointing the finger at Ukraine.
Nearly 300 people died this morning when Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 was reportedly shot down near the Ukraine-Russian border. U.S. officials believe it was a surface-to-air missile that brought the plane down. Ukraine's prime minister says the Boeing 777 would not have crashed if Russia did not give pro-Russian separatists the sophisticated missile system. However, in a statement, Russian President Vladimir Putin says the tragedy would not have happened if there was peace in the land and blames Ukraine for renewing military action in the area.
The families need consolation and our prayers. And there are many questions that need to be answered. And we'll get those answers, and we will take the next steps accordingly.
This is the second tragedy for Malaysia Airlines in the past 4 months. In March, a Boeing 777 disappeared from radar and has still not been found. 239 people are presumed dead. And today also marks the 18th anniversary of when TWA Flight 800 exploded and crashed off Long Island, New York. The Boeing 747 was on its way to Paris from New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport. All 230 people on board died. After a 4-year investigation, the National Transportation Safety Board determined a short circuit in the wiring caused a fuel tank to explode, causing the crash.
Another earthquake shakes Kansas. This one centered in Caldwell around 5:40 this morning. Officials with the United States Geological Survey say it measured a 3.6. It could be felt as far north as Newton. Geologists say in Kansas there have been at least 28 earthquakes in the last week and more than 110 since June 12th.
We have a lot to, I think, look at and to try to understand about the causes for these earthquakes. So some of them could be natural, some of them might be induced.
There was little damage as a result of the earthquake. Earlier this year, J.D. Good traveled to Harper County, where geologists installed a series of temporary seismometers in an effort to determine what is causing the increase in earthquake activity. You can watch her special report, Shock After Shock, on our website, kwch.com.
A judge rules there is enough evidence to send the murder case involving a Valley Center couple to trial. Roger and Melissa Blummel were shot outside their Valley Center home last year. Both later died at a hospital. The Blummel's adopted son, Anthony, his biological mother, and 2 classmates are charged in the shooting. One of the suspects, Braden Smith, agreed to testify against the others in exchange for a lesser second-degree murder charge. He says he was not there the night of the shooting, but helped plan it in a Wichita hotel room. He says Blummel's biological mother blamed his adoptive parents for keeping her from her 2 sons. Smith's plea allows him to avoid the death penalty. The other 3 defendants in the case will have a chance to enter their pleas at another hearing.
More problems for the Barton County Treasurer's Office. You may remember the county recently discovered its books were off and it had about $500,000 more than expected. Well, the county hired an outside firm and an auditor discovered another problem. The office takes cash when residents pay taxes or renew car titles. Now, if the balance was off at the end of the day, employees had to make up the difference. That's illegal. The county administrator says he's now working to get former and current employees reimbursed.
I'm sure nobody has any records. It's going to be an honor system kind of thing, but I'm hoping that we can make it up to these employees who had to take money out of their own pocket.
The county administrator told us it's unclear how long the practice went on or how much money employees gave. We tried to contact the treasurer. His office told us he did not have any comment.
Advance voting is underway across Kansas. Voters can now submit their advance ballots for the August primary by mail. Starting next week, voters in Sedgwick County can cast their advance ballots in person. Voting begins at the Sedgwick County Election Office next Wednesday. Voters can cast ballots from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or you can go to any Sedgwick County satellite location. For a list of times and locations, log on to our website, kwch.com. Just look under our Special Campaign 2014 section. One of the races we're watching is for the 4th Congressional District. Next week, we'll host a political forum for the 2 Republican candidates, Mike Pompeo and Todd Tiahrt. You can watch it live on KWCH Channel 12 or online at kwch.com.
Students at Wichita State looking to park on campus will now be required to buy a parking permit. The new rule will go into effect the first day of class, Monday, August 18th. Parking permits will cost students $120, which covers the entire school year. Parking permits for motorcycles will cost $60 a year. Vehicles without permits will be ticketed. Our Kansas Proud Hometown Tour takes us to Northwest Kansas tonight. From water parks to bowling alleys, Michael Schwanke spent the day in Colby.
Well, Michael grew up in that Thomas County town. Tonight, he tells us what makes Colby, Kansas proud.
We had a great time today showing you what makes Colby, Kansas proud. I hope you have the chance to go to our website and check out all of our stories from today. We're inside the bowling center here, kind of a home away from home for me. My family has owned this for many years and still runs it today. I spent a lot of time here as a kid. And as I grew older, most of it was spent working here. I think it's where I learned how to talk to people and why I'm in this job today. When I tell people in Wichita I'm from Colby, they usually say, I know Colby, it's where we stop when we go to Colorado. Well, thousands of cars stop here every week, and that's what drives this economy out here and why Colby is proud of its slogan.
The oasis on the plains. Oasis. Doesn't everybody want to be around an oasis?
And you can't have an oasis without water. Colby also proud of its new water park, a $5 million project for a town of just 5,000, a little over 5,000 people, that attracts visitors from all over the area. It was paid for with a sales tax initiative. You got a $5 million pool with a town of just over 5,000 people. And that's paid for with the sales tax that you will pay off early?
3/4 cent sales tax, and the fire department that went with it was $2.7 million.
There's a lot to be proud of here, including a top-rated community college, a new park, walking trails, and I'm glad I could show you some of that today. Coming up tonight at 10, we will take you inside what is really a symbol of pride in this area, a symbol of how important farming and agriculture is to this area. We're going to take you inside the biggest barn in Kansas and also talk about the incredible feat it was just to get it here. That's coming up tonight at 10 o'clock.
And we will wrap up our Kansas Proud hometown tours next week. That's when I return to my hometown of Hutchinson. You can watch what makes the Salt City Kansas proud Thursday afternoon, beginning on Eyewitness News at 4.
What are the odds people would continue to work if they won the lottery? We have the answer coming up.
Plus, experts are investigating a mysterious hole in Siberia. That's coming up on Eyewitness News at 9, plus your Storm Team 12 forecast.